Chapter 5, Mishnah 8. Workers would harvest a field in several stages. They would cut the produce, bundle it, and pile many bundles in small heaps of different forms and sizes. They would then carry the bundles from those heaps into a large pile on the threshing floor. The Mishnah explains when, during this process, the law of shchicha applies. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. If someone is collecting bundles of produce into hat-shaped heaps, hidden heaps, pancake-shaped heaps, or into small bundles, he is not subject to shchicha. If while transporting the bundles he forgets one, the forgotten bundle is not shchicha. This is because the bundles are not yet being gathered together for the final time. These heaps are only temporary, and the bundles will be brought to still another pile. And a bundle is shchicha only if it is forgotten when the bundles are being gathered for the final time. However, when he is bringing bundles from one of these heaps to the threshing floor, he is subject to shchicha, because this is the final place where the grain is gathered. Thus, if he forgets a bundle, he must leave it for the poor. If someone is gathering bundles of produce into a large pile, and he intends to leave them there for immediate threshing and does not plan to transfer them to the threshing floor, he is subject to shchicha. In this case, that pile is the final stage in the process of gathering the grain, and thus a bundle forgotten on the way to that pile is shchicha. And if he changes his mind and decides not to thresh the grain there, and he moves the bundles from that pile to the threshing floor, he is not subject to shchicha. The law of shchicha can apply to only one transfer of bundles, since in this case the law of shchicha applied while the grain was being transferred to the pile. It does not apply later, even if the grain ends up being moved again. The Mishnah sums up. This is the rule. Anyone who gathers bundles to pile them in a place that is a final stage in the process of gathering grain, he is subject to shchicha. And if he changes his mind and moves the bundles from that place to another place in order to thresh them, he is not subject to shchicha, since the bundles were already subject to shchicha at an earlier point. But anyone who is gathering bundles to pile them in a place that is not a final stage in the process of gathering the grain, namely in a heap such as those listed above, where the bundles will be kept only temporarily, he is not subject to shchicha. However, when he gathers bundles from these heaps to the threshing floor, which is the final stage in gathering the grain, he is subject to shchicha.